The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please...
Nurses R Us makes it possible for a newcomer to sign up as either a hospital department, a nurse, or an employee. Here we have possible hospital department signing up to become a client. By filling in his or her details into the required fields, the application will then be sent through by clicking the submit button. Once registration is complete, the new user can now sign into the system using the username and password they previously provided. Once logged in, the hospital department will then be able to review the home screen of Nurses R Us with various details according to our team. The dashboard will also be made available where they'll be able to apply to be a client through the hospital department application form, which will then be submitted once complete. The hospital department will then be able to view their application details by clicking on their dashboard and viewing the application details, as shown below in the video. Now we'll begin to show you how to log in or sign up as a nurse. The process with signing up as a nurse is the same as the hospital department. You fill in your details on the sign up form, click submit, and then sign in with the username and password you previously provided. The nurse will then click to apply to be a nurse and fill in the nurse application form on the nurse application page. It's necessary for all required fields in the nurse application form to be filled in. If it arises that a field is not filled in, the field will then be highlighted in red and the user will then be required to fill in each and every block on the form. In this section, the nurse provides his or her employment history and uploads certain files to support their application. Once complete, they click the Submit Application button, and then they'll be able to review their application they previously submitted and make any possible changes or update their application as they wish. We will now proceed to log out and log in as a hospital administrator and review how the hospital department application and the nurse application look like on his side of the screen. The administrator is able to view the application sent through, and he or she can either confirm or decline an applicant. The process is also the same for a nurse applicant. Once redirected to the nurse applicant screen, the operational manager from the HR placing nurse company can then view an application, close the screen, confirm, or decline a nurse applicant. Once a hospital department is accepted, they will then be able to send a request. As shown in the video, their dashboard vastly changes. By sending a request, they're able to fill in the skill, rank, shift type, date from, day to, and the number of nurses they will require for the specific request. Once complete, they will submit this application, which we send to the nurse HR placement agency. Once the request is sent, the nurse will then log into his or her portal, click on requests, and view the request details which he or she will be able to fulfill. Seeing as it's a first-come, first-served basis, if a request is full, a nurse cannot confirm for that request, but she can or he can confirm for a request that is not full. The HR placement nursing agency will then log in and send a list to the hospital department of all the available nurses who will be able to fulfill a specific request. The hospital department manager will then be able to log in, click on requests, and see all the nurse allocations which are available to him or her and confirm or decline a nurse which they wish to fulfill the request. Once a nurse arrives for his or her shift, the hospital department will then be required to check in the nurse and check out the nurse once his or her shift is complete. Ratings. Once a request is fulfilled, the hospital department will be able to rate a nurse according to 5 stars or place a complaint. Now we will proceed to review some administrative tasks that the operational manager at the HR nursing placement company can perform, such as the maintenance of hospital details, the archiving of hospital details, as well as the maintaining of nurses, which is updating nurse details, deleting a nurse, or archiving a nurse. A nurse is required to have at least one nurse qualification. Here we show how to add a nurse qualification onto the system by adding the qualification name, description, and institution it can be obtained from. Here we can search a nurse qualification and also update a nurse qualification. If the administrator feels that the nurse qualification is no longer useful, he can delete this nurse qualification as he sees fit. Nurse skills. A nurse is required to have at least one skill, but he or she may acquire more skills as the years go by. Here we add a nurse skill onto the system by adding the name, description, and skill type. Once the form is complete, click Submit. We can then search the nurse skill we just added, click on it to update any details we wish to update, and click Submit. If we feel fit, we can then also delete the required skill we wish to delete. Employees. The system also makes it possible to update employee records. Click on an employee we wish to update. It then populates the employee record. We can then edit any details we wish to edit. Click Submit, and the employee will be updated. We can also archive or delete an employee record we wish to delete. Employee types. Here we're able to update certain employee types by clicking on it, editing it, and submitting it. We can also delete an employee type, but if there are users linked to this employee type, that is not possible. You cannot delete employee types linked to users. Nurse rates. Here we're able to view certain nurse rates linked to specific nurses. We can search these nurse details. Once we find some results, we can view the nurse rates, add a specific nurse rate to the nurse, and submit it. The last functionality left in Nurses R Us is orientation. On the orientation schedule screen, we can add a new orientation event or click on an existing event to edit any details we wish to edit and submit this form to update the details we wish to update for an orientation a nurse needs to attend. We can also see today's orientation details or the orientation details for the month ahead. Now back to record orientation details. Today's orientations will be shown on search nurse details, but there aren't any today. We can also delete an orientation event, but if there are nurses who have applied for this orientation, this event cannot be deleted. Now on to some admin. The administrator would want to see certain reports. So here we can generate an hospital activity report according to the hospitals that requested the most nurses, nurse activity report to see the nurses that fulfilled the most requests, and then generate a CRM report which shows the complaints sent by hospital departments. Now, generate orientation attendance shows the attendance of all the nurses which attended certain orientation events. Here we have the user details screen, which shows a list of all the user details included in Nurses R Us. We can search for a user detail if we wish, and also maintain access level. we can delete an access level, but this is not possible if a user is assigned to a specific access level. Jessica, as a hospital department, will now log in. And now, back to our home screen to show a video about us and the system Nurses Are Us. Now, on to some fun. If you find yourself on Nurses Are Us a bit bored, click on the game, play some Minesweeper, failed, click restart and play again. Now on to the mobile app. Here is Nurses Are Us mobile app where a nurse can log in or sign up to be a nurse. On this page, a nurse will fill in his or her details and click the register button in order to be a registered nurse on the app. Once complete, the nurse will then be redirected to the home screen of the app, where they can either check in, as shown here, where a live GPS coordinate is shown of where their current location is. The nurse can then go back to the home screen and click the Retrieve Location button to retrieve their location history via live GPS coordinates. And lastly, a nurse can capture an image to ensure that she shows the exact location of the hospital that she is required to arrive for her shift details.